Afternoon, Sam. Let's quickly get your thoughts on the Barnet game at the weekend. We'll talk about on the pitch in a minute, but what was it like for you off the pitch in the commentary box? How much did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did actually. I think Charlie was brilliant, very good at his job and keeps things flowing really easily. So it makes my job stepping in and helping a lot easier. But I said to him whilst we were watching, when I watched the games anyway, I'm quite vocal throughout it. So it wasn't too bad. That was just like, it was pretty much like watching a game if you were sat next to me in the crowd.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what was it like sitting on the side, sort of seeing how things pan out in front of you from a different angle? Of course, normally when you're between the sticks, you see things from behind the back line, but sitting on the side, almost on the touch line, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, even when we're at home and I'm not involved in the squad, I'll go up and kind of sit next to Zhao and George, who are the two analysts, up on the gantry and watch from up there because you can see so much different. So I am quite used to that. I mean, probably the hardest thing was you want to communicate certain stuff about what goes on, but then you don't want to be negative towards your own players. So it's hard to kind of control that emotion of the game. Although you want to say something that might be slightly negative towards a player, it's not because you think that they're bad or poor. It's just they made a mistake and you can see it from a different angle. So it was more that than seeing it differently. But like I say, I'm kind of used to it because of where I sit when I'm not involved anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, after your taste of co-commentary, is it something you might look to in the future? Maybe a career as a pundit in the media?
I did enjoy it. I mean, if someone wants to give me a job when I finish, I'll happily take it. I do want to stay within football, and I have been doing my coaching licences, so that'll be an option. But like I say, if someone wants to give me a job, I'll never turn down some money for watching football.
I'll speak to Charlie and see what I can do. On to looking at the game on the pitch, it sounded like the North played extremely well first half. It's just the second half that let the sort of let standards slip a little bit and unable to come away with what would have been a huge 3 points.
Yeah, I thought the first half performance was outstanding, to be honest. If you took away the scoreline, you'd probably say that was one of the best top three performances, especially away from home, that we've had all year in that first half. I thought we were brilliant, controlled the game so much, made them work so hard and created numerous really good opportunities. What I would imagine is the emotion of conceding so close to half time, that probably took a little bit of effect in the second half, and it took us maybe 20-25 minutes to get back in our rhythm. But you've also got to look at it from the other side, that actually scoring so late in the half against you, Barnet would have been a lot more, that have had a lot more energy. It gives them something to play for. Whereas if you go in 1-0 down and we start the second half kind of how we finished the first, it can be mentally demoralising. But no, credit to them. They changed slightly when their keeper went down in the first half on how they played, and that helped them get into the game second half for sure. They committed a few more bodies forward out of possession, and that made a real difference. But look, the way we finished the game was fantastic. I think especially the last 20 minutes, we kind of pinned them back. They had a couple of opportunities on the counter, but the position we're in as a club, we need to win near enough every game, so you can expect that. We'll probably look a little bit more aggressive going forward and commit a few more bodies, so if you don't quite get it right, it will open opportunities for them. But look, the first half performance was fantastic. You can kind of understand that sticky patch at the start of the second half, but I thought we finished the second half, and I thought we finished the second half brilliantly.
Well, I suppose it's important as well, Sam, to take that positive from the final 20 minutes of the second half and of the game into the game against Scunthorpe on Saturday, and sort of keep that momentum going. And like you say, you've got to win every game now, so it feels.
Yeah, we have, but I also think like there's probably less pressure now than what there was because of how the results went on Saturday. There's still a hell of a lot to play for. 21 points is it? Is that how much we've got left to play for? So a lot can happen within 21 points, and we have to make sure we win every game. And yeah, like you say, the intensity we played in that last 20 minutes, it's a huge positive to take forward and go, because for 20 minutes of the second half, but early in it, we probably weren't quite at our stride. So to be able to come through that patch and then actually give the energy and the intensity that we did after that is a huge positive, and it's something we'll definitely be feeding on coming into a game here, which hopefully should have a massive crowd as well, which certainly help.
Yeah. Let's speak about, you just touched on it there, Sam, sort of not relaxing a bit, but taking the foot off the brake slightly. Luke Williams said after the game on Saturday that the title race is practically over and it's unrealistic for you to catch Wrexham, but a couple of the Notts players have disagreed with that. Carl Cameron and Ruben Rodriguez still think it's possible to catch Wrexham at the top. Just wonder what your view of that is.
Well, I think all of us as players within this squad, we want to win the league, and we'll play every game with the possibility to do that. I think we have to be realistic to understand that it is out of our hands now. If Wrexham do everything they're expected of them, it'd be very difficult to turn over, if not impossible, if they win all their games. So there is that factor. But yeah, the mood in the dressing room and the feeling around the camp is that we can still win every single one of the games remaining. We have that possibility, and that is what we're going to strive for. Ultimately, it's each game at a time, and the Scunthorpe game at the weekend is the main thing about that, and we have to keep doing what we've done leading up to these. It's clearly working because it's put us in the position that we are. We've got to keep doing that and make sure we stay focused on each and every game.
I mean, you've got 91 points, which in most seasons, if not all seasons, would have won you the league, or at least got you promoted and then some. I mean, it feels like it's still something to be proud of. Of course, it's been such a fantastic season, but I suppose the icing on the cake would be to get promoted. How important is it to sort of not let the disappointment of maybe not being promoted linger on into the playoffs?
Well, if we get into the playoffs, we've still got an opportunity to get promoted, right? So yeah. I don't think we can look at that until the whole season's finished. I don't think you can share any sense of disappointment until the season's completely finished, and whether that be the end of April or whether that be mid-May, and then we look back then, and that's kind of how we're seeing it. I think, if I'm honest, I think it's madness that only 2 clubs go up out of this league. I think you look at the strength of specifically probably 8 or 9 teams within this league. They're quite big clubs, and to only let 2 go up and then the potential to score over 100 points and not be automatically promoted is crazy. But look, that's the situation we're in, and that's the special season that's kind of we've been a part of along with Wrexham this year.
Yeah, and like you say, I mean, 91 points. It's been a fantastic season. Over 100 goals scored. I mean, what is it about this season on the pitch for you, Sam, that's made it so special up to this point?
Probably the way we play. It's really enjoyable to play within this side and the style that we have. It puts a lot of pressure on everyone in the team, to be honest, in build-up and how we play, but it gives us freedom to play any kind of way we want and what we see fit. But it's just the quality we have on the pitch and kind of the energy that we provide with them players, no matter who it is within the squad that's playing, just gives us an opportunity to play some really nice football. And when you play really nice football and you win games, it's so much more enjoyable to be in than lumping 80 kicks up and down the pitch and having to head 80 balls. That's never fun. So to be able to play that style of football and win games, it's been really enjoyable. Yeah,
it's been enjoyable to watch as well, might I add. On to Saturday, Scunthorpe United come to Meadow Lane. It's the Notts County Community Fund Day as well. Lots of work with the Notts County Foundation too. Over 13,000 tickets sold already. What is it going to be like on Saturday with a brilliant atmosphere? We've seen it already last season and previously this season, but when Meadow Lane is rocking the way it is with over 13,000 there, you must be looking forward to that.
Oh, great atmosphere here when there's that amount of fans. I mean, we make a really good atmosphere when we only have half of that. So to double it, and back at home on hopefully what will be a nicer day than the winter that we've just had. Hopefully it's a bit warm. It's a better feeling. And look, they've still got a lot to play for, so they're not going to come here and just roll over, and we still have a hell of a lot to play for. And hopefully that atmosphere that is from the 13,000, 14,000 fans, we can breathe off that and kind of bring our own intensity to the game as well, and that can hopefully bring a real good performance.
Yeah, and very finally, Sam, I know you're hopefully coming back from injury. How much are you excited to sort of get back into the starting 11 with the final couple of games to go?
Yeah, I've been really frustrated for me. My target before every season is to make sure that I'm available for every game of the season. I've been fortunate enough that form as well as injury-free up to now had allowed me to play so many games. So disappointed to miss 3 or 4 games, but very important for me to kind of have that perfect rehabilitation. The physios was brilliant. Craig worked a lot with me, and so did the strength and conditioning guys, to make sure that everything was right. I was pushing from the very start to probably be available for Barnet, but quite rightly so. They were a lot more cautious, and medically it was the right thing not to be available for that game. And yeah, I want to get back in this team, and I want to make sure that we finish the season really strongly and kind of the way that we have been playing throughout the majority of it.
Excellent stuff. Well, I appreciate your time as always, Sam.
Cheers.
And wish you well for Saturday. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hi, Sam. Just a couple of follow-ups, really. Spoke to Tiernan Brooks last week, obviously deputised in your absence, and he highlighted your importance on him despite not being involved on a match day. So how do you think he did during his time in between the stakes in your absence?
I think he acquitted himself really well, if I'm honest. Tiernan's a very confident boy, and I think that is seen in his performances. I think what we both have the luxury of playing in this team is that for the majority of games you don't have a huge amount of actions to make, and he will have seen a lot different between his 2 loans that he's had this year to playing in our team. But I thought he looked really confident in possession, which is a vital thing within this team. He spoke a couple of times with me after the games, kind of the speed of how the games were was a little bit different to what he was used to, which is expected. I didn't really expect anything different, and no, he set himself a really good standard, and it was good to see him do that, to be honest. He's been in and around the goalkeepers ever since I've been here. I think the first year he's maybe in and out of training, but ever since then he's been with us all the time, and he's an ambitious lad, sometimes maybe a little bit too ambitious, and kind of has to wait your turn a little bit, but he's seen other young goalies come in similar age to himself and get opportunities, so I could understand that he probably thought a little bit frustrated with them up to now, but look, he just had to wait for the right time that was suitable to him, and when the coaching staff and whoever deems that it's the right opportunity for him, and I think you have to be very appreciative of the manager, the staff and Tom to actually do that. There has been opportunities earlier in the season where they could have put him in, but for one reason or another they didn't. But it's also made it very aware that once he's come in this time, he's kind of come into the team and done really well. So in hindsight, them decisions have been fantastic. I'm pretty sure he would be frustrated that decision wasn't made earlier, but we're all footballers. We all want to play as early as possible, but in hindsight, they're fantastic decisions to then allow him to be in a position to come in and flourish.
Yeah, he did mention when he spoke to us earlier a couple of weeks ago that he noticed the difference in pace from his loan spells to the National League. How do you think this period in the team can develop him moving forward, this experience in particular?
It'll definitely make him hungry for more, that's for sure. Knowing what he's like. Look, for Tiernan, he's got a long career ahead of him. As long as he keeps working how he does, day in, day out, he has the standards that he sets himself, which are really high. but also a little bit of modesty to understand when is the right time for him to get the opportunities and not. It could be a case of even next year he may have to go on loan. He may be playing first team football here, but just kind of understand at what point in his career he is and take them opportunities when they come. He probably wanted to play a higher level than what he did in his 2 loans already this year. But look, them experiences that he's gone and got this year has really helped him coming into the team with us, and it'll be important for him going forward as well to kind of rack up them minutes, and if their minutes are in this league or they're in the league below or they're in the league above, I'm sure that the club will make the right decision around him for his future as well.
So just looking ahead to this weekend, the last time that we spoke to you, your former club, Scunthorpe, were in a bit of financial uncertainty off the pitch. But earlier this year, completed a takeover. So how grateful and, happy were you to see the football club saved, and now there's potentially light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the biggest news is that there is going to be a football club next year. For a long period, it looked like that could be a real possibility that it wasn't going to be, which would have been sad because it is quite an important part of the town, and I would imagine if you looked at attendances since that takeover has happened, have probably lifted a little bit, and you've seen an influx of players that have come in since that as well. So the guy that's took over is clearly really wanting to do well for the club and keep them in the league. Look, it's a tough task for them. The position that they're in, the points behind, it means that they basically have to win games to stay up. But first and foremost, like I said, the fact that there is still a football club is a really important thing.
And then just finally from me, one of a few players in the current squad that has the contract running out this summer. Have there been any talks about extending your stay here?
I've spoke with the club and kind of said that I would like to stay here, but look, it's a strange season because of the position that we're in. There's a lot can happen between now and the end of the season, and in terms of this league, a lot of clubs probably do a lot of their business late on in the season. However, our club is very different, and if they see you as an asset towards the club, they're always in conversations, and they want to keep their assets, and their conversations that happen. Like I say, I enjoy my time here and I'd love to stay here, but we've got a really important kind of month and a half first before them things probably get tied up.